Hey, what is going on guys? RvzStealth here, and in today's video, we're going to be breaking down the new rune Hail of Blades, which is getting introduced in 8.10, and it is going to be a new rune in the domination tree. So basically, we're just going to go over the rune, discuss the pros and cons to the rune, and then we're also going to take a look at which champions it could work on, and then also which champions it probably won't be very good on. So if we take a look at what the rune does here, it's going to give you 50 to 100% attack speed based on your level for 3 attacks made against an enemy champion. So it's basically lethal tempo, but the attack speed is going to kick in right away, and it is only going to last for 3 auto attacks. And then no more than 1.5 seconds can elapse between attacks or the effect will end. And it also does have a cooldown of you have to be out of combat for 5 seconds. Now, the first thing that we can get out of this information here is that the fact you have to be out of combat for 5 seconds for this to come back into effect doesn't really make it that great of a rune, especially in the laning phase. When you're playing an AD carry, for example, in lane, you're almost always going to be auto-attacking minions or auto-attacking something in lane. There's going to be very few situations to where you're going to have 5 seconds of downtime, and for that reason, I feel like it's not going to be that great of a rune on AD carry champions. I think it can be a little bit more viable on top lane champions, mainly because I feel like in the top lane, you are going to find situations to where you will be able to go out of combat for 5 seconds more so than in the bot lane. And then in the jungle, this is probably where the rune is going to be used the most, just because junglers are going to have that out of combat time, and therefore you are always pretty much going to have Hail of Blades up when you're going in for a gank or if you are looking to duel an enemy champion. Now, if we take a look at which champions would benefit most from this rune, you have to think about which champions are going to benefit the most from a quick burst of attack speed, and that's kind of the champions that are probably going to end up using this rune. So for the top lane, 3 picks here that I think could end up using this keystone are Tahm Kench, Darius, and Gnar. So for Tahm Kench, in theory, this could be a very nice rune for him. He does benefit a lot, or he would benefit a lot from that quick burst of attack speed in order to stack up his passive really fast. If he does get that quick burst of attack speed, he's going to be able to stun the opponent very quickly with his Q. He's also going to be able to eat them even faster. So I think this could end up being a pretty good option on Tahm Kench top lane. Now for Darius, this could work for him kind of for the same reason as to why it could work for Tahm Kench. You're going to be able to stack up your passive really fast with Darius. It will allow you to trade pretty nicely in the early game, and then especially once you do hit level 6, if you grab the enemy in with your E, get 3 quick auto attacks off on the opponent, get an auto attack reset in with your W, and then auto attack them one more time, you're going to be able to get your ultimate off for that true damage, and it would add for a lot of really quick burst damage with Darius at level 6. Now, I'm not too sure if this is going to be better than something like Conquer or Phase Rush on Darius though, because those runes do synergize very well with him too. And the fact that you do have to be out of combat for 5 seconds in order to refresh Hail of Blades, I'm just not too sure if that's going to really fit Darius's playstyle super well, especially with his passive, because when he applies his passive on the opponent, it is gonna proc the bleed, and the bleed is gonna last for a pretty long duration, and therefore he is still gonna be in combat for quite a long time in the laning phase. This could also find its use on Gnar to enable him to get some really quick bursty trades off in the laning phase. He could very easily proc that 3-hit passive with his W, and I do feel like it would work more on a ranged top laner like Gnar, just because I do feel like you are going to have 5 seconds out of combat, or you're going to find more time to be able to have 5 seconds out of combat on a ranged top laner like Gnar. And then I do have quite a few different jungle champions here that I do think this could work pretty well on. The first one is Twitch Jungle. So with Twitch Jungle, this could work on him like during the early game, because he will be able to stack up his E very fast when he is going in for a gank. He's going to get the bonus attack speed from his Q and then also from the Hail of Blades. So it will allow him to most of the time get a fully stacked E on the opponent, or to get his passive fully stacked to get maximum damage out of his E. Once you do reach the mid to late game as well, popping out of stealth with Twitch with the bonus attack speed from Q as well as from this rune would allow him to get some really bursty auto attacks off, and that's kind of how you want to play Twitch jungle in the mid to late game. You want to pop out of stealth, you want to get as many auto attacks off as you can as possible and just burst down the opponent, so I do feel like this could be a really nice rune on Twitch jungle. Now for Twitch AD carry, this still would be a good rune once you reach the mid to late game, but it's really not going to have its use in the laning phase, mainly because you do have the poison in your kit with Twitch, which is going to keep him in combat a lot of the time in the laning phase, and just in general for AD carries, it is going to be harder to find that 5 seconds of out of combat time. So unless you really are confident that you can get past your early laning phase and you can reach your mid to late game, then I don't think this is going to be the best option on Twitch AD carry. The second jungler that could work with this would be Xin Zhao. You do have your 3-hit with your Q there, which will proc the knockup, so this would allow Xin Zhao to very quickly proc that knockup, and it would allow him to duel his opponents pretty nicely in the early game and just throughout the game as well. Phase Rush is doing very well though on Xin Zhao jungle right now, so I don't really think that Hail of Blades will end up replacing Phase Rush, but it won't be that bad of a rune on Xin Zhao for sure. Udyr is another jungler that could really benefit from this new Keystone. You would be able to get a really quick burst off with Udyr because you're going to get the bonus attack speed from your Q. You're also going to get the bonus attack speed from Hail of Blades, so you're very quickly going to be able to proc the bonus damage from your Q and just get a really quick burst off with Udyr. Now a jungler I think could really benefit from this rune in the jungle would be Kindred. Kindred doesn't really have the best synergy right now with any Keystone Rune, or there isn't a Keystone Rune that's just definitively super good on Kindred. So with this Hail of Blades, it would allow you to very quickly proc the bonus damage from your E and get a lot of burst off very quickly with Kindred. And the final jungler that I think this rune could have its use on would be Master Yi. Master Yi does have his passive, which is going to proc every 4 auto attacks. He also does have the true damage there with his E, so you're going to be able to very quickly stack up your passive. You're also going to be able to get a lot of true damage off very quickly, and you are going to be building Rage Blade a lot of the time as well on Master Yi, so getting those 3 auto attacks off very quickly from the Hail of Blades will allow you to stack your Rage Blade super fast, and it will allow you to just get a lot of burst damage off with Master Yi. So overall, I think this rune on AD carries will be very situational. If you're in a winning lane, then I think you could find use with this rune, but if you're in a losing lane, I really don't think it's going to be that great. In some world, if this does end up being used on them and it does end up being good, then I think the few AD carries that would take it would be Twitch, Kai'Sa, Tristana, Varus, and Kalista. If you're playing against something like Caitlyn Karma or just a very aggressive bot lane that wants to be shoving you in and wants to be poking you, then you're really not going to find that 5 seconds of out of combat during the laning phase. So in that situation, I really don't think you would be taking it. If you are up against something like a Tahm Kench Vayne though, and they're not really going to be poking you in the laning phase, they're not really going to be pressuring you under tower, then in that situation, you will find your 5 seconds of out of combat a lot more. So it's really going to depend on the lane, in my opinion, as to whether you would want to take this or not. Out of all of these AD carries, I think Kalista would probably be the most likely to take this just because she really doesn't have the best Keystone Rune right now. She can also benefit from sudden impact in the domination tree, which most of these other AD carries can't. Kalista will be proccing sudden impact basically whenever she's auto attacking because she is going to be leaping, and then you do benefit quite a bit from just a quick burst of attack speed with Kalista because it will allow you to get 3 stacks into your opponent very fast. And then as for the other AD carries, I already talked about Twitch, so I'm not going to mention him. For Varus, it will allow him to stack his W up faster to get a nice little burst combo off. For Tristana, it's going to allow her to stack up her E and get some burst off very quickly. And then for Kai'Sa, it would allow her to stack her passive faster. So that is going to be all for this video, guys. Let me know what you think of this new rune down in the comments below, and also let me know if you do think I missed a certain champion that you think will be pretty good with this new rune. With that being said though, guys, if you did enjoy, then be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you have yet to already. So thanks for watching, have an awesome day, and I will see you in my next video.